Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm here to do a swatch and review of this palette right here. This is a palette by Too Faced and this is a Glitter Bomb eyeshadow palette. Now Too Faced is about to come out with a collection. The collection is not out yet for everyone to purchase, but Sephora was doing an app only pre-sale kind of a thing and I picked up a few items and this was one of them. So this is a glitter bomb eyeshadow collection where you have the eyeshadow palette and also you have the Too Faced glitter primer that comes with it, but I did not pick it up because my favorite glitter primer is by Nyx, which is just $5, whereas the one by Too Faced is $20. So I just skipped the primer and I just went for the eyeshadow palette. Now this retails for $45 and you can find this at Sephora, but not yet, but very soon. I'm not sure when the release date is for the collection, and you can also find this on toofaced.com. Now let me just jump into some details. Now at the back of the palette you can see that it shows the actual products that you get in the palette. You have like a black eyeshadow and then the white eyeshadow, and then you have 8 glitter shades. Now the packaging is really good. It's very, very pretty. In the actual box, in the actual product, the glitter that you see here, this is actually embossed, and this and inside this is like not like glued glitter. This is actually loose glitter. Let me just show you. I do this and I just give it a little pat. You can see the glitter is moving, so that's really cool. So yeah, so this is inside is real glitter, and for $45 the amount of product you get is, where is it? You get 8 eyeshadows, glitter eyeshadows, and that is 0.04 ounce each, and the other 2 eyeshadows that I showed you, these 2 are matte eyeshadows. These 2 eyeshadows you get 0.07 ounces, so they are much bigger size pans. These 2 are 0.07 ounces and the rest is 0.04 ounce product. And this retails for $45. And what else? Where is this made? This is made in Canada, guys. This is the actual product, the palette, and then it says a small description at the back of the palette. It says, step into your very own glitter lab and experience an explosion of creativity with 8 sparkly prismatic glitter bomb shades. Use the white and black matte bases to brighten or intensify the glitter. So and it also says that these can be used wet for like a liquid crystal like finish, and in order to intensify the glitters. So yeah, there's that. So let me show you. It does come with a mirror, and this is the actual palette. This is like just stark white matte eyeshadow, and this is like a plain jet black eyeshadow. Both are actually pretty pigmented. Just applying on their own, it actually went on evenly. Even this white eyeshadow did not look streaky or uneven on my eyelids. It actually went on pretty good. Even the black is actually pretty pigmented, guys. It's really, really good. But I do have like a con for this black eyeshadow and both of the bases. So this is called as a brightening base, and this is the intensifying base. The black is intensifying base. Then you have 8 eyeshadows. Now let me just swatch it and tell you guys how the pigmentation is on each eyeshadow, and then I'll tell you guys how the palette performed for me entirely as a whole. So yeah, let's get into it. First is Fairy Dust. The one down here is Fairy Dust. This is actually a white eyeshadow, just white eyeshadow with some gold glitter in it. So that's Fairy Dust. Actually, it doesn't have a shift or anything. It's just gold glitters, but it doesn't feel like duochrome even on the skin or even on the eyes. The second is called so that is Fairy Dust. Second is called this baby pinkish lavender, is called Confetti. So that is Confetti. As you can see, it definitely has a pink lavender shift to it. And these 2 shades are definitely on the sheer side, And this shade especially, both the shades are on the sheer side, but this shade, this confetti shade, the purplish pinkish lavender shade, is actually kind of flaky, and it takes some effort for you to really build it up. And even if you, no matter how much you like layer it, there's just a little bit of semi opaqueness to it. It's not like 100% opaque, this pinkish lavender shade. Then Hot Damn, this like a plum purple shade. It's not like a vibrant straight up purple, it has some plum tones to it. And that also actually is not very pigmented. It is on the sheerer side. It definitely needs work. Maybe it's not as bad as confetti. Probably 2 to 3 layers should do the trick, and it does look like completely opaque once you build it up. And that is actually, as I said, it has some blue glitters in it. It's like a purplish plum shade with some blue glitters in it. And as you can see, it does like swatch kind of smoothly, unlike the confetti shade. The confetti is kind of flaky. And then you have here Glitter Golds. Glitter Gold is like a black eyeshadow with like a pink and a gold and silver glitter, and this is a very, very pigmented shade, guys. It actually goes on smoothly. You do not need to build it up at all. It goes on very, very smoothly. So, and that is Glitter Golds. So it just looks like a gunmetal shade on my skin tone. Then we have here Rosé All Day. Rosé All Day again is kind of a flaky shade, just like confetti. Now this is actually peachy pinky shade, guys. It's a very, very pale peachy pinky shade. There is a very similar shade in the Urban Decay's Moondust palette, and I do have that palette to show you guys and with comparison once I finish with this palette. So yeah, that is Rosé All Day, and this is flaky, and this definitely needs building up. But if you build up, say 2 to 3 layers, it actually looks good on the eyes. It doesn't look flaky and uneven. And this is called Work It. Work It is like a very, very beautiful orangish reddish shade. It's very, very pretty, and this is actually really pigmented. You do not need to build it up at all. Just one swipe, just one layer, it goes on beautifully. And that is actually pretty smooth as well. It's not flaky or anything. So that is Work It. This is such a beautiful shade. I'm so impressed with this. Yeah, gold shade. This is called Oh It's On. Oh It's On actually has like a red and a gold and green shift to it. It's very pretty actually. Has like a red with gold and green kind of all mixed in together. It's a very pretty shade, and it's also very smooth and very, very pigmented. You do not need to build it up at all. Just one swipe, it just goes on smoothly. And then finally you have Splash. Splash is like a very deep teal shade with some gold glitter in it, and that is also very pigmented, guys. This is also a very pigmented shade. You do not need to build it up at all. So the only shade that I truly had a problem with was Confetti, if you ask me. Confetti, and also this shade, but this was a real problem child, if you ask me, out of the in the palette. The rest were actually really good. I did not like really I didn't struggle with any other shadow. And the brightening base is just white. As you can see, it's really pigmented and very finely milled and very, very smooth to touch. And this is this is the, as you can see, it's really, really pigmented. Yeah, not just in the swatch, even using a brush on the eyes, it goes on very, very smoothly, both the black and the white shade, the brightening base and the intensifying base. So on my eyes, now I've had this eye look for say 8 hours now, so it does look kind of dull, but when I first applied it, it was not like popping and like in your face or anything, to be honest. So in the inner part of my lid, I have this gold shade, And then in the center, as you can see, I have this Fury reddish shade, and the outer part I have this teal shade, and then I use the black to just darken up the edges, and I in fact had the black all the way till here, but very in a diffused manner. But so I had the black concentrated here, but on the eyelid inside from here to here it was very diffused and very kind of blended out. Same goes for this. But to be honest, after 8 hours, I just don't see the black at all. I'm actually really surprised and disappointed. Surprised in the sense, in a bad way. To be because do you see how pigmented, and it went on the skin so beautifully, but I just don't see the black at all. I see a little bit of like a depth here and here, because it just kind of is still there a little bit, but I actually had the black shadow all the way here, but I just don't see it at all. So I'm kind of disappointed as to why it just faded away so quickly. But application, it goes on really well, and it is pigmented. Now the way Too Faced says is you can of course use it wet or dry. Now to be honest, I've used it like 4 different ways, and I'll tell you guys how each way resulted in, and which I think is like the best way to apply these eyeshadows. And then we'll quickly go on to the comparison with the Moondust and the Too Faced glitter. Now I first used this with just an eyeshadow primer, but a sticky one, because I know that you need something for the loose and flaky glitters to adhere to. So I went in with a sticky primer like Urban Decay, I think anti-aging potion. That is actually kind of sticky. So I went in with it with a dry brush, and they actually went on well, to be honest, except for these not so pigmented shade, like such as this, the white with gold glitter, and then the pinky lavender and the pinky peach. So these 3 shades I had a little bit problem with, but the rest actually went on beautifully on just a normal primer. So according to me, you do not need like specifically like a glitter primer for these shadows. Just use a sticky primer, not like a dry kind of a primer, you know what I mean? So that way I used, and went on fine. And then I did like I said, I did also try it with a glitter primer. I didn't see any difference in the results. They just looked the same. If you use a sticky eyeshadow primer and a glitter base, the results according to me is just the same. Now I actually since Too Faced says you can wet the brush and make these eyeshadows look amped up and very beautiful, so I did wet my brush. But interestingly enough, I was actually taken aback by the results. Let me just elaborate on that. The thing is, when you wet your brush and use these eyeshadows, the pigment, that is the actual shade color, now this pink shade kind of deepens, and the purple shade kind of deepens, and the red shade and the gold shade, all the colors of the eyeshadows deepens, but it kind of diminishes the sparkliness. Is that a word? It doesn't make the eyeshadow sparkle. It just diminishes the property of sparkling with these eyeshadows. So that's actually kind of puzzling to me, because I just expected them to also deepen in pigment, but at the same time also appear very sparkly and like reflect the light and catch the light and really be very popping and beautiful. But when I wet my brush, the colors deepened and it became richer, but the glitters kind of became subdued and just lied flat. It just fell flat. So I don't know, I was not happy when I used these with a wet brush. That's just my experience. I have experienced these kind of eyeshadows. I have experienced that with Colourpop's metallic eyeshadows as well. They look beautiful like when you swatch it, but when you apply it on the eyes, it just kind of feels flat. And when you wet the brush, it actually just the pigment kind of deepens and becomes more rich and intense, but the metallic and the reflective aspect of it just falls flat and actually diminishes. So that's the same kind of thing that I experienced it. So I really like to use these you know, just dry, but with a sticky base. Now finally, the fourth way is I actually followed their instructions and tried to use these as bases. Now it's just you know, these are flaky kind of eyeshadows because they have like pressed glitters. These are like pressed pigments, and also they have lots of like glitters in them. So you definitely need like sticky base for these eyeshadows to adhere and just like lay beautifully on your eyelids. Now after, what I did is I just applied an eyeshadow primer and just set it first with these bases. I'm not sure if I did something wrong here. I could have, but this is just my understanding of reading the instructions. So I'm just a consumer who just read this instruction, followed it, and I was just not okay with it. But let me just explain what happened. So what I did was I just used an eyeshadow primer and just used this eyeshadow on top. So once you apply this dry eyeshadow on top of like a sticky primer, it just sets the eyeshadow primer and then makes your eyelids kind of dry. It's not sticky, and it's not like the perfect base for like a glitter eyeshadow. So on top of that dry base, when I tried and applied these eyeshadows, in any one of these eyeshadows, it was actually very poor looking. It did not look beautiful. It did not look reflective. It did not intensify, neither did it brighten. It just looked very pale and just like just looked as if the whole eye look was incomplete, and it just did not look good or attractive at all. So I don't know why they suggested to use these on top of like a dry eyeshadow. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe you apply the eyeshadow on top and then again you go in with a glitter primer. Maybe is that how it's supposed to be? Or if you use an eyeshadow primer on top of like a dry eyeshadow on the eyes, will it not like move and crease and look like a mess? I'm not sure, but I think just the idea of these two applying these glitter eyeshadows on top of these two eyeshadows just doesn't like make sense to me, because you do need the idea behind making these eyeshadows pop is you definitely need a sticky base, whatever that might be. So using this as a base, because these are called bases, right? Brightening base, and then you have intensifying base. So if you use these two as base, it just does nothing. In fact, it just, all you see is like flakes and just loose glitter on your eyeshadow, and you don't see pigment. It's just not good and attractive at all. So yeah, my favorite way to make these eyeshadows pop is just go in with like a normal sticky eyeshadow primer, and just use a dry brush and just apply it, and just give it how many ever coats that you feel is best and perfect to get a good look. And then yeah, that's it. And I suggest you do your crease work first, but I have to be honest, I did not do my outer corner and my crease blending and stuff first. I first applied the eyeshadows, and then I went in and blended it. And actually, to be honest, these eyeshadows that I had applied here did not just fall off at all. It was still it was still there. But I have to be honest, I didn't do like go in and in full pressure do like a windshield wiper motion or anything. I did do it like in a very mild way, but still I was impressed that the eyeshadows actually stayed on. It didn't fall off at all. Now there is fall off in these eyeshadows, whether irrespective of whether you use a glitter primer or an eyeshadow primer, there is fallout, but it's not crazy, and I did not experience fallout throughout the day at all, just while application. And now actually when you are applying, I can see the glitters just falling off when I'm just patting the eyeshadow on the eyelid. So that is there, but it's not crazy at all, to be honest. So yeah, all in all, I think this is a good palette, to be honest. The only negative thing I have to say about this is just these two bases are like, it doesn't make sense, because you need like a sticky base for these eyeshadows, not like a dry base. So besides them, these are really pretty colors. But what else? So yeah, I think this is a good palette, guys. You get 8 eyeshadows. Now for comparison, I do have the Moondust palette by Urban Decay. Now this retails for $49. Now this is a limited edition palette. This whole collection, not the whole collection, because the collection includes the primer, and primer is not a limited edition product. It just is there always. Now this is, I'm not sure, I think this is a limited edition product, but and this retails for $49 and you get 8 shades. So this is actually an expensive palette. To be honest, I did not pay $1 for this palette. I had gift cards, and so and we had a party and we had gift cards, so I ended up using the gift cards on this palette. So I did not like pay anything for this. So but I really like this palette, and as you can see, I have already a review on this palette up, because now there are so many companies who are like coming out with single eyeshadows with a lot of glitter and stuff like that, which are so expensive, each retailing at least $24-25. So if you are someone who really loves glitter eyeshadows, going for a palette would definitely seem like a cost effective rather than picking them individually. But always picking individually, you might use them because you handpick shades that you truly like. So there's that. But anyways, let's get into this. This retails for $49 and you get 8 shades, and actually you get the size of these shades are actually really less. You get only 0.02 ounce of product in each pan, whereas here in the glitter bomb you get 0.04 ounce of product. So it's like double. Yeah, 0.04 ounce, and in here you get 0.02. So you get actually very less product in here, and it's also $49, guys, for just for 8 eyeshadows. So let me just swatch this quickly, and I feel you have three dupes, this palette. And let me tell you how these are different. This is like a very old palette, and if you really want in-depth swatches and reviews, let me just direct you to my let me just get rid of the swatch. I linked the link to the video down below in the description bar so that you guys can take a look at that video as well. I'm just quickly doing this because we have already been here for a while. So as you can see, like Urban Decay has its typical, purples, green, blues, always you have it, and then you have like a bronze, and this is like a gunmetal, true gunmetal. This is the bronze, and this you have the blue, like a really vibrant blue. Then you have like a bluish teal. Then you have like a perfect grass green, and then you have like a purple. These 3 are the shades that I was talking about, like the dupes from the Glitter Bomb palette. Like you have the pinky peach here, and then you have that orange, the orangish red that I was talking about, and then you have that plummy purple. Now let me just swatch them just close by here so that you can see how they are. So that is the, I don't know, you know what, let me just do it here, down here, so that you can actually see it properly. So yeah, those are the 2 shades from, the top is from Urban Decay, and the bottom is from, okay, this is not good. Oh yeah, the top is from Urban Decay and the bottom is from Too Faced. And then, where is this? Let me just do it here properly. This, the top is from Too Faced. The bottom is from Urban Decay. Let me just do this once again so that you can see it properly. Top is from Too Faced. The bottom is from Urban Decay. And then finally that plummy shade. Top is from Too Faced. Bottom is from Urban Decay. So do you see how similar these 3 shades are? They're, I would say, like a dead-on dupe. So yeah, these are the 3 dupes that I'm talking about. Now formulation wise, guys, I do feel that these are slightly different. The only difference I feel is, I told you something strange about these eyeshadows, right? Now that when you apply them wet, the pigment deepens and becomes rich. That is, the color of the eyeshadow becomes deep and rich and beautiful, but it kind of diminishes as it diminishes the glitter in these eyeshadows. It doesn't sparkle and it doesn't catch the light and it doesn't reflect. It doesn't like beautifully pop with respect to the glitters, but the pigment of the eyeshadow deepens and becomes rich and beautiful. That's what happens when you wet your eyeshadow brush with these eyeshadows. But the Moondust, I can guarantee you that all of these shadows, if you use them wet, they truly pop and become more sparkly and more intense, and the pigment and also these eyeshadows also become deeper and richer, and at the same time the glitter in these truly also increase in brightness, and it sparkles more when you wet this. That is the only difference I would say. Besides that, I think these are truly both good palettes. I always use this eyeshadow palette wet. I never use this dry at all. I just don't see the point. In this eyeshadow palette, I would say these 3 shades again are not very crazy pigmented. But just maybe 2 layers will do the trick, to be honest. You do not need to like layer it 4 or 5 times at all. Just 2 layers will do the trick with these 3 shadows, the dupes that I was talking about. The rest are actually crazy pigmented. You do not need even to wet your brush, in fact, with these shadows. These shadows are very, very pigmented. You do not even need to wet your brush, in fact. But if you wet your brush, it just turns, in fact, even more crazy. So in a good way. So yeah, that's my short review of the Moondust palette. So I can't say which I like better, because if you wet your brush, this is good, but if you use them dry, this is good as well. So, but to be honest, I would go for this, because it has, like, to be honest, a wide range of colors: blue, green, and then it has a bluish teal, you have bronze, gunmetal, pink, and like reddish or pinkish orange, and also violet. So it covers like a good spectrum, I would say. Not but this, you have all of the shades are on the pinkish side, to be honest. This has like a, and you do have like a beautiful gold, but I'm missing all the beautiful pops of like blue and green, and I don't miss it when I use the Urban Decay Moondust. So I think I like this better, a little bit better, but it's not like I wouldn't say that this is very superior to the Too Faced Glitter Bomb, because Glitter Bomb is, to be honest, is also good. I wouldn't say it's bad at all by any means. So yeah, there's my quick comparison, and hope you guys found it useful, the dupes. And then this is the swatches. As you can see, the green is popping, the blue is popping as well, and then you have like the bronze, and then the gunmetal, and also the deepened teal, bluish teal that I was talking about. And you do have the pinkish peach, and then the beautiful orangish red, and then the purple shade. So you have like a beautiful range in the Moondust. And then here you have these shadows, and just these 2 bases, I just don't like them. They just don't work with this palette. Maybe they could have just given us like a sticky basis with the white and the black. So yeah, that's that, guys. Thank you so much. I hope I covered everything that I wanted to. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and please give this video a thumbs up if you liked watching it, and please subscribe. Bye.